Imagine your car breaks down in the middle of nowhere. How do you get home? Well, that's what we're going to cover today. I'm going to show you what I think is a pretty awesome emergency vehicle / survival get home kit that I put together that we keep in my wife's van, as you see in the picture there. So a couple notes before I get into this and really dive into all the specifics I have built into this. There are a few things outside of this, like we keep water in the vehicle separately, so it's not in this. And this is for our in-town and around travel. I don't know about you, but one of the struggles I have with my wife in particular, she's full on board, she's a prepper. However, when it comes to throwing stuff in her van, she pushes back a little bit. So this is our in-town travel around. In all honesty, with the amount of travel and distance we go, we could probably survive without anything in there. But I don't want to, right? I want to be able to comfortably navigate any situation or crisis that may arrive, and I want to be prepared for it. Additionally, this stays when we go on longer trips, but I do add, not to this, but I add to our loadout as much as she'll allow me, which is essentially my inch bag and some of my tactical kit. And that's for a different video, different time. But let's talk about this. This right here, for the most part, other than water, is going to cover all your needs, both from a survival perspective and from an emergency vehicle perspective, for the most part. And if I'm missing something, I encourage you, let me know. Tell me in the comments some things that I might not have thought of, or that you think would be better or could help to improve this. So let's go ahead and start going down it. So I'll start at the top here. These pouches are all MOLLE and detachable as well, so that's kind of nice. And that'll make a little more sense as to why you might do that as we get down further in the pack. Let's start off with our top pouch right here. So what I have right here is called a PLB. If you're not familiar with that, that stands for personal locator beacon. So you can, they're not cheap, but if you can get these, they're well worth having. And basically what this is you pay up front, and if I were to flip this antenna out, press this button, it's going to notify emergency services of location. They're great if you're going hiking, camping, or anything like that, that you can end up in an isolated environment. These are great to have. So that's right up in the top of this pack. So if for some reason, you know, she's not going to get lost, we'll be able to find her. Myself or rescue services will be able to find her. So PLB in the top. Got a little pencil here in this next pouch. We have a multi-tool. So, you know, one of your standard, I think this is a Gerber. Yeah, Gerber multi-tool. It's got your pliers, a lot of different screwdrivers, knife, different tools that you can utilize here. Just come in handy for a number of fixes, whether it's on the vehicle itself. You're not going to do heavy maintenance with it, but it can actually get you out of a pinch, you know, different lines and things like that. And just in general, a Gerber can come in handy with a lot of different little maintenance purposes. So let's go into these pockets in this other pouch. So this right here is what I would call the fire pocket. So it's got a little more than just fire in here too, though. So let's pull out the stuff I've got shoved in here. So I've got an emergency whistle, one of our Modern Warrior emergency whistles on our site. And then here, inside this is a nicotine brand thing, so the little nicotine pouches on. I like to use these as well as like Skull and other kind of those containers. They make great containers for just different miscellaneous kits. In this case, I'm using this one as a fire starting kit. So I've got some actual natural cotton and some jute in here for little fire starting aids. We've got some of these fire start cubes. I've got a fire start cube in here. If you haven't seen the video I did on that, reviewing these things are amazing. So this is a great, if you need a fire, this is going to get you going as long as you can ignite it. So we've got that. We've got a good ferro rod with a striker, also available on our site. And then a Silcock key. So I don't know if I put a video out yet on this, but a Silcock key allows you access to city water. So if you ever go and you're out in the city, depending on the city, the bigger cities especially, if you're at a park and you see like a water spigot, if you will, water faucet, and there's no way to access, there's no handle, that's where these come in. These Silcock keys, they have different fittings, and you can hop it on there and you can access water. So They come in great, especially in like urban survival or urban situations. They can come in handy. So I might try and pack this as we go, or I may end up just leaving this stuff all out and pack it off camera so I don't slow you down with that. So that's our fire slash few extra things in there. In the rear pouch here, I have another survival whistle. It's got a button style compass on top of it, and inside it has a little mirror. If you're not familiar, so you can use a signaling mirror. You can utilize that. A signaling mirror is an excellent recovery tool. I forget the distance. You know, if I was getting ready to do a class, I'd be ready, but I want to say it's numerous miles that these have actually affected recovery from someone out there just flashing, and a CSAR plane sees it from miles and miles away. A signal mirror is an excellent survival recovery tool to have in any of your kit. Additionally, I have some matches and a little striker that I've tore off in here as well. So we've got some matches, a little more fire starting stuff, and a whistle, signaling mirror, and compass. So that's all in this top pouch here. So I'll repack it off camera instead of hold you up with this. In this next pouch here, so this is more of kind of a, so we've got a lock picking kit. She's not really going to use this. This is more if I'm in the vehicle. She doesn't necessarily, her lock picking skills aren't quite up to par. But I've got a lock picking kit in here that fits. Inside this zipper pouch I have, so now we're getting into some kind of the car maintenance things. So I've got some spare fuses. Should we have a fuse go out on the vehicle? This strap here goes with this pouch here. So it's just an extra strap. Got an emergency flashlight. I've got a universal wrench. So this has, it's semi-universal. We've got like 8 different of your most common bolts sizes on there. I have a tire plug kit. These definitely come in handy, so you can plug up a tire while on the road. You know, you can get some nail in your, you know, you notice, you discover you've got a slow leak, something like that. You can plug it up in transit. So emergency tire plug kit. I've got some survival 550 cord. So when I say survival cord, it's the 7-strand inner core, but some of those inner core have some different uses. Like one of them is a wax cord that's good for fire, etc. But anyway, some 550 cord. Another strap for this whole get up here. And I think that might be it in this particular pouch. So coming over to our obvious medical kit. I won't go through the whole medical kit, but this is the med bag. This will rip right off. I don't want to rip it all off now, but this will rip off so you don't have to use it from here. You can grab it and go. And then we've kind of got this built out with a good bit of medical supplies that you might come to use, from tourniquet, shears, typical pressure bandage. I'm sure I have a chest seal in there, etc. So medical kit. Moving down to our last bag, but not the last place we have stuff. There's some other stuff in here I'll show you as well that's kind of hidden. Moving down here, got a survival straw. You know, you got your water filter straw, Lifestraw. I have 2 spark plugs preset for her vehicle. So for the vehicle, there's 2 spark plugs. We have some valve stems and a tire gauge as well. Some valve stem replacements and a tire gauge on this side over here. In here, I have some gloves, work gloves, combat gloves, whatever they might be. Get a little crowded, so I'll put some of this back as I go. I've got a pen flashlight over here. So I've got 2 flashlights in here, 2 light sources at least. Sometimes I forget all the stuff I have in here. This is a very handy tool. So I've got the cables in here. So this is an emergency battery charge. So basically, if the battery's dead, we can take this, plug this, put this up on the battery. If you don't have one of these are, I put them in all of our vehicles, different variations. They're not all this. This is Halo. They're not all these brand, but you basically just plug this right up to your battery, and it will jumpstart your vehicle. And I've even used them on an RV, so they're pretty good. If they've got a good charge and you've got a good quality one, these things are amazing. In addition to jumping your battery, they can also charge up, USB devices as well. And so just, you got to remember every once in a while to pull them out, make sure they're charged up and have a good charge, so that, because it'll drain with time. So get on a schedule of doing that. Try and learn when yours is. I have a ratchet strap in here. Basic ratchet strap. And then in here, we have some other stuff. So I've got, if I can get it out of here, I have an extra belt for her vehicle. So in case one of her various drive belts, radiator belts, or whatever break on her vehicle while we're on the road or she's on the road, it can be replaced on the road along with the multi-tool there, the socket tool. So you can replace that belt and still go. And just so you know, in general, just a general mechanical tip, if you happen to break down in the middle of nowhere and the belt rips off and you don't have a belt, or the belt doesn't fit that you have, or whatever it might be, you can fashion stuff. I was talking to a friend who's a mechanic, and he's seen everything. He's seen them come in with a 550 cord tied and managed to get it to the gas station. So it's not ideal. It's not going to be the most efficient, but it might be able to get you from point A to point B to get you out of that situation. So not all is lost. Get creative and try to find some ways that you can rig up something to connect those pulleys to keep them going. Maybe it's your belt, your actual belt, whatever it might be. So another thing I have in here is a little 12-volt compressor. So this will plug up to the cigarette lighter, and we can air up tires, especially if you're plugging a tire, you're going to need to do that. Air up tires. It's got a lighter, or not a lighter, it's got a light built into it as well. So just good compressor, something definitely to have in there. So that is the general stuff here. As you see, we've got fire, we've got minimal, but we have some navigation aids as far as the compass. We've got rescue as far as signal and mirror. The PLB is a big rescue device in this kit. We can start a fire. We can purify some water. So we've got our basic general survival needs met. We don't have a tarp or anything like that. We do have 550 cord. That said, as I said, this is for our in and around town. She should not, or we should not, if I'm having to be in the vehicle with her, have to spend the night. If we do have to spend the night, then that's a decision, like let's just say it's that late and we didn't want to try and go home, I'd probably stay in the vehicle. We're in lower Alabama, so it's not crazy weather conditions that I'm going to die from exposure outside really any time of the year. Every once in a while we get below freezing, which is very rare. So we're not done with the kit though, so let's go inside here. I've got this rigged up, so I'll tell you in a second, but I don't need to pull it out. But inside here, I also have the cable for our thing here, but I also have regular jumper cables shoved into here too. I'm not going to undo all that because it's a bit of a chore. It wants to hang off, so I've got it rigged up with some extra Velcro. But that is it. This is a general kit, and as I showed you a picture on the back of how it just rides on the back of her van. In the back, it's out of the way. You can't really see it. It's not an eyesore, to her eyes, and it doesn't take up space that would be utilized otherwise. And it gives you a whole lot of advantages. Whether your car breaks down or for some reason you end up just stuck and you need some basic supplies. And as I said, this doesn't cover everything. We also I've got some MREs in the vehicle and some water in general, just for general survival needs if you get stuck somewhere. But that's it. If you think of something that would better this, please let me know. I'm not the end-all be-all. There might be something I'm missing or haven't thought of, and I welcome. That's what the Modern Warrior Project community is all about, is sharing that knowledge and experience. Let me know if you have something like this, and if you don't, then I'd encourage you to start going ahead and assessing your situation, consider your environment, consider your area, and start putting together one. You can get these little, whatever you call it, off of Amazon. I'll throw up a link for you. You can probably get them on Temu and some other places as well. It doesn't need to be the highest quality. One thing I did forget and I want to share In the event that we're going to detach and we're going to navigate, or she's going to navigate home, this bag here, the intent is this becomes her survival kit. So she'd strip off this bag here. It's pretty good size, like a, you know, like a typical one of those little chest bags, if you would, or fanny pack. And so she would strip this off, and she would load this with her survival supplies, that MRE, that water I told you about, and now she can just move, and she can throw it, attach it to her belt, or she can use the straps that come with it, however she wanted to carry it. And she can now move with it. I'd also probably move out with that first aid bag as well. So that's it. This is the hybrid. I don't really have a real name for it, but it's a hybrid emergency vehicle / get home kit. Let me know about your thoughts and comments in the comment section below.